for yourself.
Speaking for yourself, I went to church on Sunday.
What church are you at on Sunday?
All of them.
This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Hey, welcome to the Okayest Hunter podcast. It's December 13th.
Hey-o.
My daughter here, she'd ask Alexa, how many days till Christmas?
Mm.
Like she does every single morning. And I'd have an answer for you. But nonetheless, this is the last show of the year you're going to hear from us wise asses.
The three
hanging it
wise
up.
guys.
Next time you see this show, these Santa hats are going to be off these bucks. Not in a weird way, but Christmas will be done. It'll be the new year. So we're rolling into the holiday season, and that'll be
You gonna
all
put party
she wrote.
hats on them instead?
Oh, I guess New Year's. Could probably do a party
You do
hat.
party hats.
A little blow.
yeah.
What are those called?
Yeah.
What are those?
Little noisemaker.
Noisemaker.
Mm-hmm.
They're just straight up noisemakers. I went to a
Shit
New Year's
whistles.
thing last year with the kids, and every kid had them. It was like hundreds of kids. It sounded like a freaking like goose
Sounded really cool.
situation.
A wild kazoo convention, huh?
Yeah. This bourbon, I don't like this bourbon.
Why?
I
I
think
think it's got kind of a good flavor.
I don't
kinda
think it's
like it.
bad. It's
I kinda
it's-
like it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
got me like
It got him too toasted one night.
not too toasted.
You're looking at it.
He's
really.
having, yeah, he's having flashbacks.
But what are
I
you gonna
think I
see in
remember
there?
you. You look familiar.
You dirty son of a.
He's like, that's that guy at the bar. What happened there? I don't remember. I was blackout drunk when that
That
happened.
weird looking guy in my glass.
Yeah.
I remember you. It's like when you see that tree in the woods. I remember that tree.
Uh-huh.
I actually love it when I remember that tree.
Mhm.
You know how many
Usually
times
a
the
good
hunter
sign.
stops and says, "So let me tell you about this tree right here.
Mm-hmm.
How many deer I've killed from this tree?"
Or you see that tree there and all that wadded up paper. Don't go by that tree.
Made that mistake. I went up to that tree. Oh, that is toilet paper. Confirmed. Oh, where is it? I hope I didn't step
Yeah,
in it.
you totally tracked through it.
Yeah, that's
It's-
another thing.
You always
It's
hope
got a
somebody
shallow grave under the pine needles.
shallow grave is right.
Speaking of half rats,
Place one leaf over it. Covered.
Derek, can you lift this a little bit?
Probably
I'm not
not.
going to try to do it,
Ugh.
but if you see on the camera,
Old man Clark threw out his back.
yeah, it's not
Oh
so
my
pretty.
god.
That's a lot of brewskis in that thing. So you guys talked about it last week, and I was like, well, might as well bring it down. We got some
Might as
beers.
well.
So my goal is to
There
dig
it
into that.
is.
This thing is pretty sweet.
It is nice. I don't know. Show it off, Show it if you got it. Anyway, Half Rack, go to half-rack.com. We are brought to you by Half Rack and use code OHB for 15% off. I was told that we were mentioned in context of some Half Rack folk that they're listeners of the podcast. I'm like,
Huh.
Didn't they talk about Half Rack on the podcast? And I was like, oh God, I can't imagine. I was like, please don't tell them what we say. But, publicity is publicity, right? It's all good. No, we like those guys a lot. They're good pals and appreciate what they're doing with their brand and how they're growing it. So
Just don't mention anything.
don't worry about that. Court.
verbatim.
I took that one out.
Okay.
That's the GoPro up there. It was giving me shit, so I just unplugged it. And I think it'll create a better situation altogether anyways.
GoPro giving you shit. What's
Go figure.
new?
What's new?
Those things are tricky.
I don't know what it is, but when we did our muzzleloader drives, Bo borrowed me a battery. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
my battery was dead, of course.
Go figure.
So
That
he's
sounds
like, "Oh, I
that's
got
a, that's a,
it
that's a
was- it
kid's
was-
that's a kid's book, right? Bo borrowed.
Bo borrows me a battery.
Daddy, why'd the
Say
GoPro
that 10
die?"
times fast.
Well, it was his time to go. He's been on for 4 minutes.
Go, Bo.
We're
go,
not going to
go.
be sponsored by GoPro anytime soon.
Not at all.
No,
No,
fuck
but he
those
gave me a
cameras.
brand new battery, charged up. I think I ran 18 minutes of video. Boop, dead.
All done.
Was it cold out?
I mean, not
Yeah, it wasn't
obscenely cold.
terrible.
30s.
Yeah, 30s,
All right.
40s. It wasn't awful, but batteries just don't live
They
very
don't.
long.
And you have to have.
And the new ones
If
are
you do
supposed to
that
be
power pack thing.
cold
That
weather
sounds
battery.
great in theory, but then you have to have some way to like hold that power pack,
Oh yeah.
and then you
Scott
got to have
had-
your flap
Scott
open.
and Bo both had something.
Some
and-
sort of external battery pack.
Yeah, but Scott's was perfect because it was on the back of his his
Yeah, dude, that guy,
head holder.
man, that guy is something else. Scotty, if you're listening,
High tech
that
redneck.
guy is the coolest. He's
So
the
he'd
most interesting
appreciate
man in the
this
world.
a little bit.
Most interesting man in the world.
He's a cool guy.
He'd probably look at all my cables and have a pass out or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I need some
he gets
serious
excited
cable
over
management.
meat. So
Damn it! The day got too busy. I was gonna cook up loins for you guys tonight.
Oh man, they
Son of
taste
a-
great in my imagination.
yeah, yeah, so good.
I have to cook them tonight regardless. I can't let them sit on tonight. Maybe
Loins.
I can. I gotta cook them. Yeah.
I made chili the other day.
Yeah.
All right.
Some venison chili. It was
Oh, was it?
very good.
Nice.
Oh, I had another thing I had to say.
Put a little chipotle hot sauce. in
Really?
there. Yeah, just smokiness.
So like
good.
Chipotle, like dry rub? Or...
No, I had I had a little chipotle dry rub or smoky dry rub.
Yeah.
It wasn't called chipotle, but I had chipotle hot sauce that
Mhm.
just had like the smoked adobo stuff in it.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Smoked
now
adobo.
it's like and I just put a little bit of that in there because I was like I didn't.
in the chili.
In the-
In the chili.
sounds very nice.
Right in
Right,
Right
in
of the
the
nugget.
chili.
Okay,
Stir it around.
This is what I had to say.
counterclockwise and clockwise.
Stir it around.
You can't eat the horns, but you can stir the
You
chili.
stir the chili with them. Anywho,
What were you gonna
We were talking about how excited everyone was about Latitude. Some friends
Yeah.
of ours.
Yeah, I
Ritter
mean,
got
we-
one. You said someone else did. I'm sure other
yeah,
people
I
have.
had a few people reach out
Nick.
and pull the trigger on buying. Jacob Ewing, I
You're
think he went and bought some
You're
stuff.
still waiting.
Yeah, Jay, another buddy, Jay.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah, he just pulled the trigger. I said, how did your wife feel about it?
What?
Well, she wasn't very happy, but hey, man, I'm really excited to
Tis
get
the
this
season.
stuff. Tis the season.
I
Look,
saw- I
Christmas
saw
came
a
early.
Facebook post of a buckhead in a trash can, and it just said caption: "Someone's wife isn't happy right now."
I saw that one.
Yeah, I don't know what else is going on.
He should have put a hat on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it would have.
Yeah, holidayed up. Anyway, so you can, if you order by December 15th, it will help ensure that you get it by Christmas. They have plenty of Carbon Series speed sticks. I know earlier on, it's like, when are they coming?
But That's how it always is.
because they launch at ACA.
They
a
launch
lot of
them.
excitement,
People they
creates a
build a
demand.
crap ton of excitement.
Yep.
A huge demand, and then the floodgates open. All hell breaks loose, and wow, we sold out of the first batch. We don't know when we're getting more in.
It's interesting that I think maybe just the consumer feels slanted, and I think it's a hard line to walk as a manufacturer. That can't be easy.
100%.
You got to balance creating some demands when you launch. It's not crickets, but if you overdo it, then you get the other end of the problem where it's like, where's my shit?
And all of a sudden, my favorite is when it gets to the guys getting really desperate and they're comparing email dates. Well, I got emailed on so and so. Well,
Right.
I didn't get emailed. I
There's
ordered
like-
2 days before. You didn't get emailed 8 hours after you.
Well, hey,
50
what
posts
the-
on Saddle
like-
Hunters
that's like-
United or whatever. and-
It's like someone getting seated,
Thought they were-
you get to a restaurant
Oh.
and then someone gets there after and they get seated before. You're like, what the?
What?
Did you? Am I
I-
invisible? Like,
did-
yeah, that's a problem. No, I get it.
My buzzer didn't. That's
My
my,
buzzer-
that's
I was
my
pressing the
stapler.
button. I
That's
was
my
pressing the
stapler.
button.
Excuse me. That's my stapler.
Excuse me.
But anyway, they got plenty of them. So stock up, get them before I actually think I might want to get another set to run 4. I might just get one more
One more stick.
One more stick?
I
What am
thought about it.
saying? One more set. I want one more stick. 4 might be a good number for me.
Maybe
thought
we
about it.
order another 3-pack for the 3 of us.
Oh.
That's
Ah.
not just a hat rack
This
up
is
there.
why.
Free shipping on orders over $100.
This is why.
Okay, good job, Greg.
You're smart.
Hey, thanks for coming
I had-
in today.
So then something else happened. I'm just gonna keep rolling like I'm. Something else happened on the internet the other day where I don't know. One of my posts got ugly. You guys didn't see it was on TikTok.
Yep, didn't see it.
Nope, didn't see it.
And the way you can post there, you can't post that way on Instagram. Otherwise, I would. You can respond with a video. So someone, it was on Instagram too. It was the 8-point that I got with the Biggie song, like with all
Yeah.
the words on the screen. I don't know. I was saying like your tag, your hunt, like be proud, don't disrespect.
And someone shitting your oatmeal on it, didn't they?
Oh,
Someone
the literal
disrespected.
comment was something. Well, no, I'm gonna say literal. I'm gonna not quote it properly.
Let's just back this up. Paraphrase
Yeah, I'll
comment.
paraphrase was like, how weird is it to be a grown man and still shoot baby bucks? And I was like, how weird is it to be a grown man and give a shit what other grown men do with their time or their tag?
Perfect.
What the fuck you talking about?
Yeah.
So anyway, the whole point here is like that shit doesn't happen on Go Wild. So this is hurrah to say, if you're tired of that kind of stuff, follow us. And if you're listening to this, maybe you are. So like
That guy can
that's
just go
redundant
eat a
request.
hefty bag of dildos. It's
Oh
fine.
my god, that got oddly sexual.
You
Hefty.
cannot say that while I've got a big bush in my mouth.
Oh my god,
Kenna,
Man,
the Christmas
we
spirit
just got
is here.
started. There's hardly any alcohol consumed, and
He's
we're already
had like
acting like
460
idiots.
a lightweight. You did have a lot of that Oktoberfest there.
Oktoberfest.
sorry about that.
It's beautiful.
There's bush in my mouth.
Opportunity taken.
Son of a gun.
You hear that? Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, it's because you're trying to suck on it.
Boom.
Anyway, go wild. You're probably not gonna
What
have
were
that
you
kind
trying
of
to say?
stuff. We'll get through these.
You keep shit in the bed. You keep
Oh,
seeing
man.
squirrels everywhere. Squirrels with lightsabers, man.
I'm just trying to do the partnerships. Some
Well, get them done,
due
damn it.
time. I'm working my way through it. Spartan Forge has a bunch of like, there's a lot under the hood that's about to be debuted here at some point, and I've been seeing Bill comment to folks in the speaking of Facebook groups and threads and all that jazz, like, "Oh, y'all ain't seen nothing yet." So I'm very intrigued to see what that's going to look like on the AI side of things with that engine running. So anyway, if you're on there, and there's other people too, like there's been all these recently. I don't know if it's because of the end of the year, people's apps are up for renewal or what, but it's like literally posted like, "Hey, what do you think about Onyx versus Spartan Forge?" And I don't know. There's some people that said Onyx has imagery for like leaf on, leaf off, but Spartan Forge has it when I go back historically, and that is going to be something that's like rolled out to the rest of the country here soon. So then, do you need leaf on, leaf off? If you can look at it
It's
with leaf off, then like
it's another tool in the toolbox, right? If
Yeah.
you know how to use it, you'll use it. If you don't even know it's there.
Well, with the LiDAR, like I don't make great use of that.
No, not in their
I
area.
made good use of it in the gun season.
Mhm.
Not great, but like, well, it got me on Lost.
That's a
So
bonus.
That's good.
So yeah, you used it in the most effective way possible. Save your life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But as far as like reading it to understand the, I don't know, it's gun season. There's dudes in place sitting fucking everywhere. Like deer ain't patterning shit out here.
This is
No.
true.
I mean, they might funnel through something, but I don't know. I'm not smart enough to talk about that confidently. Like, oh, they're only going through the stick stuff or the saddle here or the land.
They're sticking on the 700-foot elevation line.
Just on that line, they got a trail march.
Well,
right
so
through
I
it.
took the dogs
Why
for
they
a
put
walk.
lines on the map to
It's
show
like
you.
the Ho Chi Minh, it's like the Ho
It's a
Chi
trail.
Minh Trail.
Yeah, that's like where they put
It's a
the deer.
migration trail.
They put the deer crossing signs on the road for the deer to cross there.
Go figure. And they even paint lines for them.
So I took the dogs for a walk because
Yeah.
they've been. I was talking to you on that.
Yeah, you called me. Like,
I had to get out of the woods. I had to poop pretty bad. But I was like, "What? Damn it! Did that stupid thumbs up thing?" Anyway, walking the dogs at a park, a local park here, and I'm like, "We're gonna go off the trail." Ooh, risky move. Yeah.
we were
Whatever.
crowning.
I wasn't supposed to like do anything like that. I was like, told my wife, I'm taking the dogs for a walk, which was very true. I took Dottie to a dog place to do dog stuff and run around, and I couldn't do that with Eddie because he's an old fuck now and he wants to just like, I don't know, be a dick to other dogs. I'm like, well, you're staying here. I'll come back for you
Stop
later.
peeing on the poodle.
He's actually peed on my mother-in-law's dog before. It was not a good moment. I thought it was funny. Turns out it wasn't funny.
Turns out no one was
funny at all.
She didn't laugh.
Because then I had to give the poodle a bath.
No, it didn't. I was like, oh, that's not funny. Anyway, so then I took him for a walk and I'm like venturing off the path a little bit, and I sent you guys some photos.
That's some nice rubs.
Yeah, nice.
But I sent the Spartan Forge, and you could see it was literally on one of the topo lines, just like you had said. Yeah, it looks like magic.
Not
you know?
joking.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe this is something worth. Probably not.
My next video, I'll be pointing at a topo line.
Derek likes to point at everything. I don't even
You
know
got to
what's
do
happening.
something with your hands.
He just like, points at random shit. I'm like, what am I looking at, man? I feel like I'm swearing a lot in this episode. Sorry for all the people listening with their kids in the car for Christmas. Looking
Merry
for
Christmas,
Santa.
everybody.
No promises here that we're going to do anything exciting tonight. Just in the room looking at each other with headphones on. That's what a podcast actually is.
Drinking bourbon and having a beer.
It's not a glamorous podcast. We just stare at each other.
Breathe
awkwardly.
heavily into the microphone.
Breathing heavily into a microphone.
If I say nothing, it'll be awkward. If I say something, it'll be awkward. There's no path I can take where it won't be awkward.
Fair enough.
That's the charm.
Mhm.
That's the charm. So, just getting plans for next season. You're
I
still,
mean,
you're
there's
still
still
drooling at maybe trying to go. You're doing late season.
Yeah, man. I'm going Friday.
What's your
After
tactic? Are you
work.
gonna try to get a deer before its antler falls off?
That's the hope.
Saw a really cool post today from one of the buck tracking guys up in the Adirondacks. Got on a buck track that a buddy of his told him to go in this area, whatever.
Do we know them?
He's tracking the deer. I don't know him personally. No,
Okay.
just saw the post. Thought it was really cool. Guy was on a buck track, followed it for 3.8 miles, jumped him twice out of his bed,
Twice.
jumped him twice, never got a shot at him. And all of a sudden he's looking up and sees something weird in the snow, finds the buck antler. He
Mm.
shed it on the
Right
trail,
on the
goes up another 100 yards. The other one's laying there. So came back with the antlers. Buck is still out there. Pretty cool.
Got the antlers, lost the meat.
Yep. Meat got away.
Damn it. That's bittersweet.
Yeah. What are the odds though that you're on the trail while it sheds? That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
well, but we're at that time of year where it's going to start happening.
Well, I think it was my buddy Casey sent me a note today, and he's like, "Remember we used to do the rut? It wasn't a rut report. I wouldn't call it a rut report.
Yeah,
What the fuck do we call it?
it was some kind of a rut report, but either way,
Grunt tube radio? I don't know.
grunt rattle radio or something like that. I don't remember.
Grunt. We had a segment. We used to do a lot of segments, and we put a lot of like production power. And by a lot, it's very relative. Like I'm not saying we hired someone professional. I just put a lot of damn time into it.
You did. You put time into it.
And people called in, so we would go live before the podcast to just take calls around rut activity, and then we would take that segment and bake it in post-production as if it was part of the whole show. So in the middle of the show, you get this rut report kind of thing happening.
That's cool.
Only during the October, November time frame. So when it was relevant. So someone, Casey was like, "Hey, you still doing that rut report thing? Maybe you should consider doing a shed report because are they falling by you?"
Yeah.
And he sent me a trail cam pic of a buck. You could see they had fallen off.
Really?
He's a little bit southern of here, so south of here, southern of here. Apparently, I don't know my directions in this fucking room, Greg.
That happens.
I'm gonna get quiet again real quick.
South?
You got it right that time.
Yeah, it's south.
Oh, like you fucking knew it the whole time. It's on video, asshole.
It's fine.
So
We're gonna mount a damn compass right here
right
on the
there.
table.
That's a good. I have one. We should.
That's
do
it.
that.
We're gonna cut
I have
that
a lens and
tattoo
a
out of your
compass.
arm and put it on.
There you go.
Get a
We're
compass
gonna get
tattoo?
all weird about it.
North,
Just
south, west.
coordinates. Yeah.
Mhm,
It
coordinates.
always, I don't know. It's forward is always north. It's
Yeah,
weird.
Joel's like, it's up, isn't it? No, so I'm not sure. I don't have any cameras out, so I wouldn't be anybody to ask.
I
about.
got a buck on camera, both sides holding on. Probably, yeah, he wasn't as big as this one, but pretty close in spread. Nice little 8-pointer.
Okay.
Chasing doe.
Someone said they got a half rack the other day, but I think it's because the other side just didn't grow. It's not that it fell off.
I've had half rackers all season.
Speaking of half rack, code OHP for 15% off.
There you go.
There it is.
All right.
I think this part of the state, unless the deer's injured, they're going to be holding for a while yet.
Yeah.
Just based on
Yeah, what is it based on, Derek? Tell me.
December, January.
I'm not trying to
Mostly-
interrogate you.
most, from my understanding, now somebody's going to have way better understanding than me, but what I've noticed is it's mostly based on testosterone levels. So bucks around here that have other bucks as competition for feeding, for bedding, will retain their antlers longer because they're still posturing in the pecking order and establishing their dominance. Whereas like up by the cabin, anywhere up north, north of 64, where the deer population is way lower, there's way less competition. Most of the deer by New Year will be shed.
Who's the dude doing all the deer videos with the deer suit? Skylar.
Yeah, that guy.
He does some funny ones.
He's open
They're
to
fun.
coming on the podcast.
Oh, that'd be
he
great.
did respond. I don't have a date selected, so no guarantees. But I feel like I want to see him do a scenario where like, where'd your antler go? Hey man, you're looking pretty funny.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I enjoy those videos a lot. There was one today that I saw, and he was like, "Hey man, that's not cool what you did with my sister." He's like, "Oh no, we're good. I found your mom last night." It's like, should have did it right by the hunter's truck. It's pretty intense. Like, I don't know, it was that particular spot. I was like, if I was drinking something, I would spit it out. And then they
That's
showed
good
him with
stuff.
the decoy by a hunter's truck. So,
That's
give you the
hilarious.
visual. It's pretty great. He's like, well, I got it all on trail cam. That's pretty
That's
clever.
awesome. Very.
Pretty clever. I realize the camera's not on me and it's just on you guys.
That's
Damn it, I suck at switch. I gotta get an intern in here. We keep talking about this. I don't know any interns that want to come in this basement.
What we
every
need is an
Tuesday.
intern to do filming.
We need those too. Yep. Hey, why not PSA? It's going into 2024. If you know an intern that wants to push buttons in a podcast studio once a week, let me know.
Take a little video.
2024. You want to run cameras for our camera producer guy named Jace? He'll tell you what to do, but you got to do what he says. If you know what I mean. He's a pretty burly guy. Could get weird.
Getting there real nice and deep.
Exactly. What is our situation, Dad? Penny was like, gift, Todd. Taking it with me.
Oh boy.
Fucking GoPros.
Yeah, GoPros.
Yeah, GoPro's not going to cut it for that position.
Mm-mm.
I should put the number on the screen. I'm missing all these. There's like comments. I forget to like do stuff.
Let's just read the comments.
Someone said hire me, but I can't see who it is. Doug Glitterveen. I'll do it. Just a weekly plane ticket. Yeah, I don't know. You got to remember, you are talking to
Doug, where did you go off to?
Doug's living a great life. He's fishing, doing his thing.
Yeah.
Jason Yankee. Happy holidays, you savages. Appreciate that.
Thanks,
Oh
Jason.
yeah, it was Rut Club Radio.
That's it.
Doug remembered. Jesus, Doug. How did you remember that?
At
You
least
steel
one of the
trap?
guys in here has got a brain.
Someone's been around the
Right.
block for a while.
You didn't kill all of us.
Son
brain
of a
cells
Billy
with
block.
Scotch.
It's Woody. Watch too many stupid movies.
Mostly Toy Story, right?
Mostly Toy Story.
Yeah. Called her. What's up? Pull feathers. What's going on, Levi? Called her
Levi.
again. Is there a difference or a distance restriction on the bourbon exchange? Oh, there is not. I will. So let's talk about the bourbon
Public
exchange.
service announcement on
This
the
is not.
bourbon
This is
exchange.
not endorsed by the brand.
Can we
okay?
please talk about this? And can somebody who's friends with me on Facebook please freaking listen? So it's a copy and paste thing, right? That's the idea.
You
of
have the
it.
instructions, right?
Dude, I did this last year, and so many people were like, man, this sounds pretty sketchy. This is a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid plan. Absolutely. That's like that's how it works. But it's not a scam. Like, no one's trying to steal your money.
I had a buddy. So one of
Just
the
buy
buddies
a
I
bottle,
tagged,
and then everybody gets a bottle. Oh,
dude, one of
this
the
is
buddies
what-
I tagged was like, I got a DM directly after on Facebook. He's like, if this is Eric Clark, please tell me how we met.
I literally wrote that. I was the first person to comment when I updated mine. It was like, for the record, this is not a scam. I did not get hacked. This is me. This is real.
I saw
That's smart.
that.
Yeah, because I had that's basically what was happening. You were like,
Everyone thinks you're scammed.
so, and they're like, is this real? How's it work? So basically, I put out a post saying it's that time of the year for the bourbon exchange. I did this last year, legitimately did it last year. And I think I got 18 bottles. Now it took a little bit. I was like pretty apprehensive, but I was like, what? I don't have anything to lose. I'm going to buy a bottle of bourbon to someone and send, who cares?
Merry Christmas.
So I did it, and I was like, cool. At least I feel good about myself. I did the thing I said I was going to do, and then I followed the directions, pasted it to my page, and let people do their thing, right? Send them the instruction, all that jazz. So then 18 bottles of bourbon later, I was like, in January, it still felt like Christmas every couple of days. Like, surprise, another bottle. I was like, look at this, honey, another bottle of bourbon. She's like, cool, another one.
the pyramid scheme has been supplying our bourbon
Well,
for the
we
show.
did it for like the whole year. We're out now. Like, but I was like getting them, I was like tasting them immediately because I was just so enthused to like,
You're like,
ooh.
yeah, this one's peaty. Oh, I'm
Yeah, the
glad you like
smoke
eating
wagon.
Pete.
I've never tried that in my life until I didn't know it was a thing. It was a bourbon out of Vegas called Smoke Wagon. You guys remember this one? It was in the video. So I took a video like when I got my first couple bottles, and that was what I put out on the social post for this thing. And so no, there's no limit. However, I will say, you know, my wife is she's a very strict rule follower type of person. So when I had to ship it through, I think it was like FedEx or some shit.
Mhm.
I just packaged it myself in bubble wrap, put it in a box, and I said, "This is not alcohol." And I shipped it, and she was very uncomfortable
you're
with that
not
decision.
supposed
Because
to
you're not.
ship
She's like, "What's
liquor.
going to happen? Are, like the cops going to come to her house?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? No one's going to know anything's ever happened. They're going to get their bourbon. It's going to be a great day."
Excuse me,
Like-
sir, is this your package?
Right?
You need to come down to the station.
I'm sure it wouldn't be great, but like, I don't want to ask what's the worst that could happen. But there are services and a lot of like brands. You go to their site and they'll ship, but certain states are wonky. Like, I don't think you can ship into Wisconsin
Yeah, there's a
or
number that you can't.
Texas. It's only wine or whatever. So, yeah, go freaking lie. Coming from the guy
Not
with an integrity
endorsed
tattoo on
By
his back.
okay, it's not
Not endorsed, but no, this is just me. Yeah. The okayest hunter talking.
No, but
Not the
really,
brand.
because it's like the pyramid scheme,
Mhm.
it's like not your
dependent on something.
friends that share it, it's the friends of your friends.
Because
They are the ones who
they're
are
the
going to
that get
be
the-
sending it to you. So if
Yeah.
you don't convince your friends that it's a real thing, you're not going to get any. So like Casey, who was the guy who commented today,
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, I did it last year, but I didn't get one." Well, your friends' friends suck.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
There's a chink in the chain that everyone else got some, but I didn't. Like I don't. Sorry, dude. I'm not sure what happened.
I got so I think Justin Simon from our buddy from Kentucky there
Yeah.
sent me
Yeah.
mine last year.
Really?
That's nice.
I think I got a couple, but
Well, Greg's number 1 on the list.
you're going to be swimming
So,
in that shit.
I don't even know why, because I didn't participate. I didn't do
You were
it.
chosen.
I have a running joke for
Go to
several
chosen
years. So
one.
my other buddy Greg Byers, we have a running joke that if I can get someone to tell him he's bald without it knowing that it came from me, the further the degrees of separation get, the better. There's not an actual point system. I just feel really good about it. So like, someone was interviewing for a job at his place of employment who I happened to used to work with. Greg was unaware of this relationship existing at all. And so that person was like, "Hey, what can you tell me about, employment and so forth?" I was like, "Oh, well, who are you talking with?" "Well, I don't know. There's a guy, Greg." And I was like, "Okay,
Here's what
you want the job? You just got to tell Greg he's bald." Okay, I'm not.
worst advice ever.
Well, they did it,
And
and he's like, "Son of a bitch, how do you know Eric?"
That's awesome.
You're hired.
So
But how do you
my
know
other
him?
running joke with Tubbs is I love to get people to send Greg shit without him knowing about it. So I've ruined it because I couldn't
Yeah, you already
contain
screwed
myself.
it up. He was like all giggling
I
like a
couldn't take
schoolgirl
it.
this
He
morning.
told
Yeah,
me.
this
He told me last week. He's like, or whenever he was like, I
2
put
nights
Greg's
ago.
name first. I was like, oh boy. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, and so Libby, my wife, put me. She's like, by the way, Eric put your name on this thing. I said, am I tagged in it? Well, no, you're not tagged in it. That's the weird part. I said, well, I don't know what he's up to. Well, now I know because he gave it away. I'm going, dude, if that much bourbon shows up at my house, people are going to wonder if I got a problem.
Well, you won't until
No, there won't be a
Get
problem
it.
at all.
I guess we're having the okayest
Yeah,
Christmas
you're gonna
party
have-
at my house.
You're gonna have a solution.
by this time next year, you'll
I'll
have a problem. But
Yeah.
the problem doesn't
Shit.
exist yet.
Yeah, our
No.
problem is we're running low. You're gonna have a solution to all your problems.
I will have a solution for your problem.
I don't know. It's a good problem to have. So whatever. It's a neat thing, and it obviously worked out great. And I was like, okay, well, I got all this bourbon for the price of one bottle.
Yeah, do it. Join the club there, and then whatever you get, you can bring a bottle up to your deer camp. Do whatever you gotta do. That'd be a
Yeah.
good way to
And
do it.
hopefully you get something cool that you never tried before, or one that you love. I know I learned that I like the not the Woodford Reserve, there's a rye whiskey, the Bullet Rye.
Bullet Rye.
Bullet Rye is good. I thought the Woodford was pretty decent.
I like
I
that.
think I got 2 of Woodford last year.
There
and
was a
something else.
stronger one, and I think it was you and me, and I was like, this is dangerously good because it's a very high alcohol content, but you can't taste it. It was so smooth.
What the heck was
Which one
that?
was it?
It wasn't the Woodford one.
No.
It was another high caliber one. It wasn't the Driftless Glen. It's a
Wasn't
known
it in a
brand.
black bottle? No, like a black label.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Probably because we drank too much of it.
Did you kill the bottle and
Oh,
get
yeah,
rid
we've
of it
killed
already?
lots of bottles, and I try to throw them out now. For a while,
You
I was
mean
like,
all those over there?
Oh, there's a collection right there.
yeah, that makes it look like I'm drinking at my desk, but I'm not.
No,
That's
that's
nice.
the
never
other
push
desk.
it. I feel like I want to keep some of these drop time because that was one of our first ever, like,
You know,
I don't know, we've been working with those
you
guys
guys
for
still
so
have that
long.
bottle of drop time up at the cabin that I brought?
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
Some.
Some.
Johnny
the last
Stewart, I
time
brought
we
my
brought it?
bottle to Johnny Stewart's cabin and went to PA.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, this is great." And I was like, "Yeah, it's freaking great. Like it fits in at a deer camp. Like it's
Mhm.
it's got a big old drop time on the bottle. Now we got a drop time in the studio. It's kind of neat."
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the bourbon thing
That's the bourbon
that
thing.
I don't actually fully comprehend. You explained it better than I could have, thank God, because I don't really understand. I just did the directions. It's like I'll make the pancakes, but don't tell me to understand how that fucking works. I just a cup of this, a cup of that, mix it together. Here we go. Toss in some chocolate chips if you want to make it better, i.e., use a video in your post, and you're good to go.
Nice pancake whiskey metaphor.
Yeah.
Voila! The first
like
one, the first
pancakes.
pancake always sucks, though. You got to make one to like know how thick it is. So then I had to repost. I'm just kidding.
And you got to take a little heat out of the pan so it ends up being a little darker on one side than the other.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, where did this go? Josh Osborne commented, y'all want to hear? Oh, I misread his comment. I'll put it on the screen. How vain of us to have a screen of ourselves on the TV here. Usually we do that so you guys can see the guest, and I didn't have a backdrop, but now you can see the comments.
Here we are twice.
You're
welcome.
Yeah. Y'all want to hear the story of a 160 incher this year? I mean, kind of now. You want to call in or what?
Well, you kind of
Go, buddy.
You kicked the door down. You might as well come walking in.
And then I didn't respect, fellas.
Hello?
We're here. We're just,
Hello. Is
having our
anybody
own
there?
little sidebar. Need to nap.
Hello.
It's me.
Oh boy, Greg.
Oh, there it is.
I wanna hear that
Alive.
shit.
I got to read comments.
When y'all do an OKSL Cunner, I would enjoy watching a fellow from Wisconsin struggle out west like I do.
Like, we're on board. We just got to make the time, and September is a rough
Bourbon
month.
exchange. That a boy Ron just got in on the bourbon exchange. No tequila. Can respect that.
So Holly and I went to some bar for our anniversary. Some like Mexican. It was a restaurant, but they had a really nice bar. Damn it. And they had a tequila selection that I've never seen before. I'm not like into tequila that much, but
You're a little bit into
You're a little
tequila.
bit into tequila.
They were-
He's always pushing tequila, so I think he's a little bit into
he's
tequila.
trying to pull some shit.
I'm not
on
into
us.
tequila, but I got a
Yeah,
bunch of
but I
tequila
drink it with
over
my
here.
pinky up.
Well, they're like tequila is the new bourbon.
No, it's
As
not.
far as the range of option, right?
Okay.
I was like, so it was our anniversary. So like, come to the bar when you're done with your dinner, and we'll pour you up a couple of shots for your anniversary for free on the
That's
house.
nice.
I was like, well, this
That
is freaking
seems
happen. This is a
nice.
great Mexican restaurant. So we do that, and the drink I got, it was they did the smoke infused situation, and it was is it agave
Agave plant.
or no a mezcal tequila, which is a smoky tequila naturally. So it's almost like scotch, but it's tequila. So
Give me the scotch.
then I had a mezcal old fashioned tequila, and I was like, this is amazing.
I don't know what to think about
I've never experienced this type of flavor situation happening in my mouth. Then I gave it to Holly, and she hates tequila because she drank too much in college. So it was like cheap tequila. And she took a drink. She's like, oh shit, this is good. And I was like, so then we like talked to there happened to be the tequila, one of the, I don't know if he's like I don't want to say dealer, like a drug dealer.
It's
but like
tequila.
he's one of the
sommelier.
distributors or whatever. He was the guy that sells a bunch of brands. So he's like feeding us their top shelf shit because he's trying to get us to taste it and try it. And then we're like, he's going on, and then the owner's going on and on about all these tequilas and how like this is a new theme because there's so much more flavor profile that can happen. They're like, well, I mean, bourbon's just basically gasoline. And I was like, well, you're not wrong. So I enjoyed it. It was
Tequila's
nice.
lighter.
So
fluid.
tequila is something that is on the list that you could get. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm really long-winded, guys. I don't know what the fuck you put up with me.
Oh, you're good at it. So we just let you roll.
You're good at putting up with me.
Everybody's going to be buying $50, $60 of bourbon, and some asshole's going to buy $15 Montezuma tequila. That's going to Tubbs. Hey, I know a guy who might drink out of there.
We know a guy.
I'm surprised there aren't any calls in queue yet. I'm shocked. We got no guests. Phone lines are open.
We're kind of to that point in the year, though, where everybody's winding her down, trying to take care of family stuff.
We're not on a typical Tuesday night. We had to push it. I
Well,
was
that's the other
sick,
thing.
busted up my back. You had a thing, so it just made sense to move it. I'm glad you guys were able to do that.
Mhm.
Even Greg drove here this time.
What?
I'm curious to hear what your plan is because you're the only one who's like for sure doing some late season.
I totally sidetracked us when we talked about antlers falling off. My bad.
Yeah, I mean,
My plan is to go out and hunt some more.
Well, you make it sound so
and
simple.
hunt a few more. Well, I mean,
I like your plan so far.
You sound,
I
you
mean-
sound like Ron from Ron Swanson. My plan is to go out and hunt.
yeah.
You simpleton.
Yeah, I mean, go out and hunt, you go out and scout, try to pull a couple more cameras. I have a feeling I got a few dead batteries in them. I replenished them in November, and just knowing how things roll in November.
Let's pull the thread a little deeper here. At this point in the season, shit's getting tired and fatigued. Your gear has been sweated up, worn up, all that stuff. You're
That's what wash
switching
machines
into.
are for, brother.
So, like, how are you maintaining pace with an extended long season? Like, are you just
The,
like
s-
I burn like phosphorus
the
come hunting
gear,
season? You know what I'm talking about?
the gear has not left the garage.
Mine hasn't
Okay.
either.
I mean, it's left the garage to go out,
know what
and
I
it's
mean.
gone back into the garage,
Mhm.
or some of it is still in the truck. It
Some
might
of
even
it's-
it might even look like a family of raccoons lives in the back of my truck right now.
So you're still riding that hunt mobile.
Oh, yeah,
the
there's-
Runtmobile.
Sticks are there, platforms there, saddles there. There's a pair of rubber boots there.
Good man.
Yeah,
Sailor.
there's yeah.
Saddle hunter. Good man.
I looked at the tree stand the other night, hung it up in the garage, took it off the floor, and hung it up on the wall. But it's accessible. I just got to reach over to the
Okay.
wall, pull it off, and put it on
So when
my
you
back.
retire all your gear for the season,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on here. I think you're leaning too much. Maybe
Me?
there it is. So, I don't know. I was like losing focus. Sorry, that's a new situation. I must have bumped that thing or
Because his
something.
chair's all the way up. I've never seen this kind of height before.
But
6-inch lift kit over here.
Woo!
it's such a
2-inch body
it's such a
lift, too.
whirlwind, Greg, for me with the craziness of the kids and getting done with the hunting season,
Mhm.
the gun, and then like the shit. Inevitably, every year I'm like, I'm gonna be methodical about organizing, and every year that doesn't happen.
That's exactly what I feel. Like.
It's insane. So to think that you're still going, which I know a lot of people are, and I would
I've
love
had
to be that
I've
guy.
had a few week break though. Like
It's-
we went and
you almost
did our
need like
little
a
thing.
you almost need like a stopgap to like
I've had
re-center yourself or something.
we've had a stopgap. I've had
Done
what's
a
it
pretty
been?
good.
That's
gap.
kind of what I'm
Been
asking.
about a week and a half.
What's
two.
your
Since muzzle, yeah.
process strategy?
Process is repeat the process and hopefully improve on it. But
What's your late season hunting?
well, I mean,
Attire.
Here's the question.
between
I
the
have.
food and the bedding, I mean that's about as good as I can do. And if they're not bedding where I'm hoping they're bedding,
Where are the deer?
Exactly.
Where are they?
Here's
I'm trying to get really interrogative.
all
here.
right. Here's my question for you.
Uh.
Scouting. You mentioned scouting.
Yeah.
You're a very good scout at the time person. Like you always are just looking for sign. You don't
Mhm.
really rely on like past stuff, which is great. This time of year when the ground is frozen, but we don't have snow, scouting becomes more difficult.
It is difficult.
Tracks are difficult. Shit's been pounded all November. It looks amazing, and it's not a deer's been on that runway in weeks.
Yeah.
But it still looks like it's being used. So what are you looking for? Like, how are you going to find a food source on public? Like, what are you doing?
Well, this is where you kind of almost got to rely on some historical stuff, right? We had a bumper crop of acorns.
What's a bumper crop?
Lots.
Lots.
Really good.
Okay, that's
Huge.
what that means.
Massive.
I
Massive.
feel like okay.
So all the white oaks, all
Bumper
the,
bust. I know they're
Yeah,
opposite.
right.
Stuff.
words are hard, guys. Let me tell you.
but white oaks, black oaks, bur oaks, all that stuff's been gobbled up already.
Mhm.
Okay.
We're down to red oaks, and red oaks have had a time to be washed by the rain. Some of the tannins may be washed out of it. They're not as bitter, and they're becoming a last resort.
Tannins poisonous for humans.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
So, but they're palatable
know
enough
that.
for deer. Deer can eat them. So if you've got a flat of red oaks or a couple of trees that have dumped red oaks and the deer and turkeys haven't eaten them up yet, now they're starting to hit on that.
They're gonna go back.
Yep. And with the warm weather we have, there's still some green grass down underneath the brown stuff, so they're digging around and eating that yet.
100%.
We have red brush, dogwood, the red willow. They're already starting to nip the browse off of that. And the browse are just the fresh little buds that are just starting, the little leaf heads that are just starting on the tips of the red willow. You got a spot like that has that growing in it. That's going to be a late season food source. And
That could be a
that's
big area. Like, how do you? That's
It
hard
can
to,
be a big
that's
area.
hard to hone in on. Like, oh, I see some nibbling. Food source. Like that sounds so obtuse for someone like me. Like, I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that information?
well, you either decide to hunt it or you decide to move on. You look at it and go, well,
They've eaten here. Good to
they've
know.
eaten here. When do deer usually eat? Depends on the situation, right?
Damn it! I can't get any
If
clear. It's like talking to a politician.
There is no clear.
I know you
concise
don't have all the
answer.
answers.
I
I'm just saying.
I don't have all the answers. But what makes sense to me is if a deer can wander through an area and have stuff touching its ribs, touching it on both sides of its body, it's probably pretty secure and it could eat it any time of the day. But if you see a patch of red brush out in the middle of a picked field, on the edge of a picked field, chances of deer eating there during the day when it's warmer temperatures like it has been are not very high. So this is almost a common sense thing.
Josh Osborne is commenting. Red oaks won't germinate till the spring. White oaks germinate when they hit soil.
They do. He's correct.
Okay.
Like all the white oak acorns that hit my yard from the neighbor's trees started growing. They started throwing roots in the dirt as soon as we got just a little bit of rain on them. And they're gonna be. I'm gonna have little oak trees all over my yard. It's gonna be awesome.
It rains in your neighborhood when there's acorns.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable.
It's crazy. But like to his point, red oaks are gonna stay on the ground, not germinate. So they're a food source. And whatever gets missed by the turkeys and the deer and the raccoons, because the raccoons gobble them up too. Those will maybe get lucky and make it into a tree next year.
I relate a lot of late season stuff to all the shed stuff, like we were talking about before, and like just the fact that this year we found 4 sheds in that piece that I've been hunting is awesome for late season for me because it tells me that they live, like they stay there.
That's what
stay
they dropped.
there.
They
Like,
dropped them.
yeah.
There's
They're there.
enough. There's enough food in there, so
Yep.
there's enough red brush.
Yep.
They're finding enough green grass, even under the snow. We just get a little bit of dusting of snow. They can push that snow away and get to the green stuff.
That buck that
growing.
I hit with the muzzle loader out into the grassy marsh stuff was on that little transition edge of grass. And when we trailed him, it came down toward some lower brush and there was all that green grass on the edge and the lower stuff. You could just see where they were just
Mhm.
eating all of it. So,
Yeah.
just like he said, that's exactly
Should be
what they've
very
been doing.
observant
They're-
and aware of your
It's just being
surroundings.
it's being observant, and just when you're taking a walk, maybe slow down,
Yeah.
and just look at things. You see a worn spot in the grass, it's a trail. Slow down and look at it. Fold the grass over, take a look. I know it's getting a little weird for you, but
I have a caller,
okay.
but they don't. I'm interrupting you because there's a caller waiting. I can't see who it is. All I can clearly read is Derek is a sexy beast. So you're live.
What's up, Brian?
What up, Derek?
How we
What up,
doing,
boys?
bud?
You knew.
Sexy, and you know it.
All right.
Oh, you got
Me
to.
and my boys are out here listening to the show in the living room.
Sorry for swearing
Playing
so
with,
much. Now I feel bad.
Oh, they're
Oh, I don't care. They can't talk. And
they're really small earmuffs. Yeah. Hey, congrats on number 2, and congrats on the awesome muzzleloader buck.
Thank you. It was almost an accident the way it happened.
Oh, I like it like that.
Call those happy
The
accidents.
kid or the buck?
I know,
Yeah, what are
I-
we talking about here?
Both.
So someone
Well,
tripped and fell.
Because in Illinois, you can only get 1 muzzleloader tag. So it's only a 3-day hunt. So I had 3 does literally underneath me, and I was trying to do some tree stand gymnastics to just pop one of the does because I hadn't killed anything at all this year yet. And I popped a cap, and the gun didn't go off, and they all ran away. And then 2 hours later, at last light, I popped that deer.
So did you just put in a new primer, or did you put in a full new load?
I just got a paper clip out of my pocket, dug the gunk out of the plug, and then added a new primer.
Wow.
I shoot old Triple F black powder and maxi balls, homemade maxi balls. I don't shoot like store-bought stuff.
Cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Very cool, man. How far
Yeah.
was the shot?
Oh, like 40 yards.
Perfect. Good for you, dude. Congrats.
Yeah, I thought it was gut shot at first because I didn't, the blood trail was sketchy, and then went back the next day and gutted him, and I center punched his left lung and his liver. No guts, no other lung, no opposite lung. Just took him too long to die.
Yeah, muzzle
And I had
loaders.
to go to work that night, so I had to.
Yeah. Muzzle loaders in
So I
general.
had to come back the next day, and I found him in 10 minutes.
That's perfect.
Good.
Blood trails and muzzle loaders don't typically go great together from what I've heard and seen, but I don't know, must be even harder with a ball instead of an expanding sabot. I would imagine that's not great for blood
No,
trail.
it's a maxi ball, not a round ball.
Elaborate on that one. We're
You have to
we're
Google it.
yeah,
I see Greg make
okay.
that face. This is exciting.
It's a
Educate us.
Well, I mean, I've seen
It's
couple
It's
bullets.
a,
out his phone.
it's a homemade mold essentially.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
And hold on one second. I'm gonna text Derek a picture.
If I type in maxi ball on the internet, I'm not gonna find something weird.
No, it came up as soon as I started typing in maxi ball. It said maxi ball
With pad
mold.
or without?
So there it is. Okay, it almost looks like a 177 caliber pellet out of a pellet rifle.
Yeah.
Share my screen for
That's
anybody
interesting.
watching.
Yeah, and then you put boar butter in the grooves.
Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty simple. I mean, I have a homemade mold of the maxi ball. So me and my grandpa used to just melt down a bunch of scrap
Dude,
lead.
that's like some
and
Mel
then make our own
Gibson.
bullets. That's
Sure.
That's really cool.
So how dirty is that thing when you take a shot after it? I got to imagine with having to put
Let
ball butter in it and everything. Yep, that's it.
That's like some Mel Gibson
Um,
shit from
it's
the
pretty rough.
Patriot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine with that much boar butter and then your black powder, like the actual powder, that sucker's got to get coated.
Yeah, Triple F Go X black powder,
Well, hey, it
which
did
they
the
don't even
job.
make anymore. I don't think.
Sure.
It did the job, my friend.
Yeah, and the gun shoots well. It's my grandpa bought it for $100 out of the Cabela's catalog like years ago. We got a bunch of flintlocks too that are that we hunt with. My grandpa was a sniper in the Army, so you never used to let us hunt with anything but one-shot flintlocks.
That's really cool.
One shot, one kill, huh? Jeez.
That's awesome, man.
Greg, what's that?
He's 86. He's only missed 3 deer in his whole life.
And I bet he remembers all 3 of them, and he gets pissed off every time he thinks about it.
every time he exactly.
Don't remind him.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No.
Jeez.
No.
That's
No,
pretty
they
cool.
don't.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool, man.
He thought he was cheating when he started using speed loaders.
That's a hell of a mindset right there.
That's cool that you're carrying on the tradition with like making, your own molds and stuff. That's great.
It
Pouring your
really
own
reminds
lead.
me of that movie,
well,
The
right
Patriot,
now-
where they're
Right now, I'm just
Right?
using our stacks that we've still got because I mean we got 58s, 54s, 50s, 45s, 32. We got all because he used to elk hunt with a 58, and then he would deer hunt with a 54, and then William he's trying to throw his medicine ball into the Christmas tree.
oh yeah. Mine's been shot putting stuff in ours.
And so we got all the different muzzleloader calibers, and he's got all the different molds. So I'm just operating off of the old stash because hell, I don't shoot nearly as much as he used to. So we got a whole bunch of stockpiled.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like muzzleloaders just because they shoot farther. My vision sucks, so I can't really shoot that far with my, Mossberg 500.
Yeah. Yeah, I think given the choice, I would rather take a muzzleloader to a shotgun state.
100%.
Especially if you got all the confidence in the world of making a long distance shot. I mean, some of these newer muzzleloaders.
Well, long distance for me is 100 yards.
Well, and even still, I mean, there's something to be said about that too. It's a primitive weapon, and if you're hunting with a primitive weapon like a bow or a muzzleloader, closer is always better. Like,
Yeah, just because you can shoot, you got Cam Haines out there lobbing arrows at 100 yards as his daily practice, whatever. That's neat. Crossbows can do that, like meet your next rifle.
What makes you better at lower, at shorter distance?
But at shorter distance, you're damn good, right? The goal is not to. Maybe I'm wrong, but I certainly hope the goal wouldn't be I'm going to kill at that range.
Oh, there's guys that do.
But
There's guys that do,
that's the problem. That's the inherent message.
that.
I should think that it's the opposite of that. Like practice out that far, so when something's close, you're where you need to be.
It should really be half the distance, right? You practice out to 100, 50 would be like a max.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
In my eyes, it would be like 50%.
With a bow, dude, 15 to 20, 30 is my personal max. That's where
probably
I'm at.
the wisest number for everyone.
For me. And doesn't mean I probably couldn't shoot further, more like accurately, but that's not.
It
what
just
I wanna
lowers the
do.
percentage, right? Like,
Right.
and we don't want to wound stuff. So, like, even if you can do it 15% of the time, that's a pretty big percentage of opportunity to wound or injure. Sucks.
Anyway,
Yeah, I know people that they shoot at animals at distances farther than I can see with the naked eye. So
Yeah.
that really doesn't tickle mine. It doesn't impress me much.
Oh,
No.
that's a Shania Twain song. Just happened. How did that get into my brain?
Oh man.
If I had the sound effect for that right now.
Could you tell I did that on purpose?
You sound just like her.
ESP, man.
He really did. I mean, he pulled it off beautifully.
But yeah, the deer scored 124, but he had 24-inch spread.
That's cool.
Oh,
Wow,
that's
24. Because
very cool.
that I can relate to that. Not relate, but I can understand how damn big that is. Because this one's 23 something.
Yeah.
Change. So that's a hell of a spread.
Well,
great
technically, I think mine was 23 7/8. I'm giving myself an 8.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
spread.
Don't we all?
Still-
Don't we
But-
all?
At a quick
yeah.
glance, it's
But,
2 foot wide,
they-
and it's
they-
who isn't shooting at that?
Yeah, with the steel tape, I measured it the night after, and it was 124 and 6/8.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Good for you,
So
Brian.
yeah, and I mean, he looked bigger when I shot him, but then I realized he had missed a brow tine. I don't know if he got something happened, but one of his tines was like the last couple inches was black, and it was broke off, probably in velvet. And so he was missing some inches in different places, aren't we all? But
Wow, that was well said and timed. Let me tell you.
but yeah, he was all right. My cousin said he's just happy he doesn't have to hear me cry anymore. And my wife says the same.
That's great. That's great.
Hey, good job
My wife's
making your.
just what's that?
No, I was saying good job making your minimal time in the woods count.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. We talked on my birthday 2.5 months ago when I was 7 beers deep in the
I
driveway.
thought that's what was happening here, but I
And,
wasn't sure. But now I know, and I'm
I
happy
was-
you're here.
Yeah, and I was all sad about it. Now it's all better.
You were,
Good to hear.
you were in the driveway. I'm pushing the stroller. I'm 7 beers deep. It's my birthday.
Rocking one baby with the foot,
Yeah.
pushing the stroller. Yeah.
That was unforgettable. episode.
Yeah, that was. Yep.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I probably said a lot of F words on accident
I say them on purpose.
on your family friendly live show.
It's not family friendly.
It's for families, but we're not that friendly.
Yeah, yeah. It's the families
Well,
that
it's
understand that.
okayest at best.
Yes,
yeah,
right.
you know
That's
that.
right.
Damn right. Damn right.
For the families that know not to say the swear words, but they know what they are.
Hear them. Don't say 'em.
Yeah.
Right.
The same for virgin ears.
Right. I'm a street cop, so it just kind of rolls off the tongue in colloquial language.
Got to fit in with the locals.
Hey,
That's right.
you there, bear fucker.
Yeah.
You.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. For $20, I'll call the guy a chicken fuck.
Farva hit the radio.
How fast were you going, meow?
Well, thanks for
Oh,
calling in.
man.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not sure that you're totally
Yeah,
sober,
no
but
problem.
appreciate the call.
No, you're good. I just also want to say I love you, Derek, and you're supremely talented.
Oh, I appreciate that, my man.
Sexy beast.
Yep. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Awesome.
Adios.
Buddy.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Brian.
Talk to you later. The,
So,
just so we're clear there, the talent he's talking about has nothing to do with sexy anything. I'm making a drawing for him of his wife and newborn baby. So
Which is very beautiful.
it's
are you going to go down there and is he going to swaddle you and cuddle you like a teddy bear?
This Brian?
This Brian could
This
do
Brian is a pretty big.
He's a big fella.
guy. He's a big
that. He's
guy.
a big fella.
That could be his little cuddle bear. No, good to hear that a new father of 2 little guys still getting out in the woods and
Mhm.
had some success. So that's pretty cool.
Well, and you guys are doing it too. I mean, you family of 3, family of 2, very busy, a lot going on.
I'm not saying I
tough
regret
to
my
do.
choices. I'm not talking about having the kids. I'm talking about going out hunting. Just wanna
You
make
just
that
wait
clear.
until they're teenagers, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not one to wish these years away, but
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot. My back is busted, and my kids like, doing a warrior cry, jumping off the couch out on my back. I'm like, don't do it! Ah!
I've been like, so I've had like this weird, my left shoulder blade. I've been having issues with for a long time in my back. It just gives me issues.
It comes and goes.
Comes and goes, and it has to do with how I sleep. And like the last
Always.
month, I'm like, why has it been like? It's been good for a while. Why is it hurting me? I'm not
You're not
hunting as
shooting
much
your bow- You're not shooting
anymore.
your bow as much.
I'm not shooting a bow as much. Well, my daughter's also been like, we've been confined to the indoors more. So we have high ceilings in the living room. I was going to throw her up and catch her all the time.
No.
So I'm launching her up like 30 times a day. I'm like, well, no shit, that's where it's coming from. Like I'm throwing my shoulder out here, launching her in the air, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. Things you do for your daughter.
Oh, you know it. I'm not going to stop either.
Stay nice and spry. That was a fun call. 24 inches wide.
Yeah, I should find a picture for you there.
Pretty cool.
And then obviously his cousin, Brian, the other Brian
The other
from
Brian, yeah.
Illinois, who
Mhm.
whacked the big giant booner last year,
Good
shot
sit, good sit mobile.
Good Sit Mobile, Brian. Awesome products. Check
They're
him
brothers
out.
and they have the same name.
Cousins.
I was like, hold the fuck on.
Cousins.
We got some other shit to air out here real quick.
Yeah, cousins.
Okay, makes more sense.
Could be brothers though. It's in Illinois, so brother.
Whoa,
cousins,
that ain't the
Whoa,
state.
whoa.
Greg, what's that muzzleloader brand you were talking about that's like modern or something?
Woodman Arms
What's,
is one, and then like, apparently CVA makes some with some pretty interesting
what's the deal
barrels
with
on them. But
that? What makes them modern while still being true to being,
what makes them modern?
What was the word you
So-
said? You didn't say archaic. You said primitive.
well, I mean, they're all still considered a primitive weapon because you get one chance,
I
you
can
get
see
one
that.
shot. What do you got there?
That's
Oh, yeah.
Brian. Just
Yep,
called
He's a
him
big guy.
his,
Yeah, I
his
saw
wide
that.
buck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a football player. I think.
Okay.
I think Division One,
Yeah.
Illinois State,
Cool.
Western Illinois. He's gonna.
That was
probably
like when
text
Chad
me and tell me
Sylvester
I'm
came
wrong.
here, and I was like, "You are large."
And what does he turn around and say to me? Well, you're bigger than I thought. Well, thanks. I
Well, no one
put
ever
on a
met
few
anybody,
pounds. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know. No, but getting back to it, so our buddy Kevin Vistison, Deer Hunter podcast, he's been talking to me about Woodman Arms. So I looked at him, and the CVA that Bo borrowed me, and maybe your gun too. I didn't really look close at your gun.
CVA is a brand.
What gun are you shooting?
Oh,
Is it a
God.
CVA?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I want to
But-
say it's an Optima or
Okay.
I don't
But
really
either
remember.
way, you have to pull back a hammer in order for it to be able to shoot it. That's
That
the
sounds
safety.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. It's safe. You can walk around with it. Primer's in, your powder's in, your bullet and sabot are in. But this gun does not shoot a sabot round. It's got a very tight tolerance barrel. You're usually shooting like a cupped bullet, so it's a CVA, or CVA is very notorious for a 50 cal, right?
It's a big round.
It is a big round. The Woodman, you can get it in a 50, but they really push you towards buying a 45 caliber.
Mhm.
And the reason they do is you get a couple hundred feet per second more of velocity out of it. 250 grain round. It shoots a cupped bullet, so you run Buckhorn 209, I think.
So it looks
behind
a
it?
bit different than that thing we just had on the screen a minute ago. I would imagine.
Yeah, but the part that's one thing that makes it more modern, sort of, not really, because the old school ones, you put powder down, you put a patch down, you put a ball down. No patch here, to my knowledge. I don't know. I'm not a muzzleloader guy, but just listening and doing some research, you put your Buckhorn 209 charge in there, 100 to 120 grains or whatever,
A
of powder,
powder.
and then you push the cupped bullet down there, a 45 caliber, 250 grain bullet. That's it. You don't have a sabot, you don't have a patch or any of that stuff, and you're getting, I don't know, up to 2,400 or 2,200 feet per second out of
That's
that thing.
impressive.
Yeah. Short barrel. It is a very tight tolerance barrel, so you can really you put a good spin on the bullet, and it's very accurate, almost out to 200 yards.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. 24-inch barrel.
I just hear muzzleloader and I think that's old as shit.
Right.
You know?
But the part, I guess, to finish that off, it doesn't have a hammer on it. It's actually got a safety.
Like a push safety by the trigger. guard.
across
Why do you like
across
that?
bolt
Why is that-
safety.
Well, I mean, I understand the concept on a regular gun, but why? Like, wouldn't that like
Well,
do
He's
gonna
away
tell
with
you.
the?
I'll
He's
tell you
gonna
why.
tell you.
muzzleloader
Yeah,
And I'll
so-
tell you next.
Yeah. So one, you got to have a He-Man thumb to pull the hammer back.
I really like
you're-
this. I really like the
if you're-
phrase "pull the hammer back."
You have to pull the hammer back. But if you
I
hear,
want to
if
pull
you
the
hear
hammer back.
a deer cracking in the brush already, you're almost going to be too late. By the time you get the gun up, pull the hammer back, and then get your finger in the trigger guard, try to swing, and if you're lucky and you have a scope on there, or maybe you're not lucky and you have a scope on there,
is it loud when you pull the
Be-
hammer back?
doesn't
Yes.
matter. It does. Yeah, I mean, it
Well, I
doesn't
mean-
matter at that point, because if you're
Wondering.
walking, and you're trying to shoot at a running deer, it doesn't matter
Well,
what kind of
do?
No,
noise.
but if
sitting in
you're-
But if you're
drive.
but
if you're in
you're
a stand and a
if
deer's
you're in a
15
stand
yards,
and you're trying
that's
to
absolutely
click that back,
audible.
it's very loud.
Absolutely audible.
But on top of that, you probably have about a 12 to 15 pound trigger pull. It's a pretty gnarly trigger pull on some of those guns.
Sure.
I
So your
can't
whole
say because I never
squeeze
shot one.
Is like
But the claim to fame with the Woodman Arms
Yep.
gun is it's got a pretty sweet trigger. It's like
Mm-hmm.
3.5, 4 pounds of pull, which is like shooting my deer rifle. You take the safety off, it's quiet. You pull the trigger, it doesn't, you're not creeping and creeping and creeping on that thing, and all of a sudden you got to yank on it. When you got to pull on a heavy trigger, it throws your aim point off. It always does.
And one thing we both noticed, and we're, whining over worms here, little stuff.
Right.
But
Fly shit and chili, as
but both
Aaron
the
Snyder
one
calls it.
but both the one that you borrowed from Bo
Mhm.
and mine with the scope mount being on
It's
this,
so tight.
the
to that
hammer sticks up. I cannot get my thumb in between my
Yeah,
scope
I
and
got
my
a-
hammer.
I
I
got a
gotta like
frickin'
weasel
broad
it in
thumb.
from the side.
Yeah. And luckily, though, a lot of those hammers have that sidebar that kicks off. the
would
side.
you
almost
would
need
you
that.
guys argue that like the hammer's part of the challenge and the heavyweight poundage on the trigger pull is part of what makes muzzleloader? Is that you're looking for this not that you're looking for it, but like that's part of the nature of it, isn't it? One shot, all these mechanical moving pieces.
Yes and no. I mean, if you're a purist and you like things harder for yourself, sure. But if you're
Well-
looking at this going, I want to buy the best muzzleloader possible.
Yeah.
I want everything to be as smooth as butter. I want everything to work great, flawlessly as possible without having to fight with something. Why would you fight with something?
Because
when-
that's our mindset.
But here's the
That's your
here's the
mindset.
There's a collective hunting mindset about.
I'm gonna
there's
bridge
this-
the gap.
There's this spectrum of like you start to cross lines when shit gets too easy, right?
Mhm.
And then suddenly
Sure.
you're cheating, as
Yeah.
his grandpa was talking about.
Mhm.
Brian's grandpa's like, well, I feel like I'm cheating now. I'm saying, why do we do that to ourselves? Why are we drawing invisible lines in our brains about what's
Well, but here's the
cheating
thing.
or not?
The modern muzzleloader, like our starting point in this conversation is an inline 50 caliber.
Yep.
Inline meaning you can pull the breech plug out, it's all inline. That is a cheat based on what an old muzzleloader is.
Sure, because you're
Like a flintlock,
yeah.
like this is already
Okay.
a cheat. So it's already advanced,
we're
right?
already cheating.
So like it's down the line. So like
We're already late.
we're already cheating the shit out of this. The muzzleloaders, Scott, the guy we went with, shot one at 265 yards with the muzzleloader.
That's wild.
Like that's impressive as hell. But at the same rate, that's not the idea
That's
of what
not how it works,
muzzleloader
correct.
season was meant to
Right.
be, right? Like, yes, it's still single shot. Yeah, shit can go wrong. Your powder can get damp. It's, but the capability is there.
Yeah.
Like if you want to challenge, like,
Someone's like, let's make
people
this
still
muzzleloader.
flintlock hunt, and
Sure.
that's freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like I think that'd be amazing to go out with a flintlock and try to take a deer. That'd be so.
It would be awesome.
That's like
The only
the
not so
recurve
cool-
versus the compound,
Right.
At
It's the
least in the
same
gun
idea.
realm,
You know,
right?
it's
there-
the same idea.
There are things with flintlocks like hang fires, and the old saying goes, keep your powder dry. That's where that came from. You got to keep powder dry. Otherwise you're going to have it all caked up and wadding in there and it'll
That's
hang.
why
and,
people put a little Scotch tape over the end of the
you
barrel.
know,
Yeah, when they do this and they enter the bourbon thing.
right.
We got a caller. I
Oh.
can't read. I think it's John. Hey, you're live on the podcast. Who do we got?
This is John,
Hey, John. Where are you calling from?
Southern Minnesota,
Cool. What do you got going on?
shotgun country.
Shot
Yeah,
Hey, yeah,
country.
jump in the conversation
So
here, John.
what do you think? Are you taking a shotgun or are you taking a muzzleloader that's super accurate? What's your feeling?
Oh, muzzleloader. I gotta agree. I got a
Modern.
Mossberg 500 that
Basically
was
bringing a rifle to a shotgun
involved in
fight.
the story I've got for you tonight. But yeah, I think the muzzleloader is the choice.
I'm there with you. If I'm proficient with a muzzle loader that's as accurate as my deer rifle or even more accurate, I'm going that route.
We got
Oh,
another
yeah,
caller
for
behind
sure.
you, but we're happy to hear your story. So
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm not going to rush you, but I'm going to
Well,
prompt
yeah,
you a little bit.
Sure. No. Well, first, cheers.
Cheers, man.
Enjoying some Johnny Black.
There it is.
Hey, attaboy.
Nice priority
So
story.
anyway, I had a okayest. I'll move the story along. I had an okayest successful hunt for firearms slug season this year.
Hell yeah.
I'm a late season, or no, not late season, late onset sort of hunter. I've hunted since I was a kid, but we lost our access, I don't know, 15 years ago to our hunting ground here, where it's just, it's almost all private ground around here because it's, we're mostly ag. So we got access again this year, and the property that we hunt is 40 acres. It's a skinny 40. So it's, it's longer east and west than it is north and south. And it's got a creek running through it. And part of that ground is the low end of that creek is adjacent to an old gravel pit, which is about, I don't know, 3 to 5 acres.
Makes a damn
And
good
of course
funnel.
it's a great doe bedding spot. And of course, the bucks, pending wind, will cruise it. And of course, they'll cruise that whole creek bottom, from the neighbors to the west, past us into the main river that's just on the neighboring property to the east. But anyway, this part of that property in that gravel pit in that doe bedding area is we've got a ground blind set up there, and I actually shot a button buck, which was my first deer in, I don't know, 15 years, my second buck ever.
Congrats.
Which I guess if you want to count it or not, but
Yeah, you said the word buck. It counts.
Works for us.
Well, I don't know what else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
like what's
It had the gilded
Yeah,
wearing
but
tackle
that's-
underneath, so it counts.
yeah, it counts. Yeah, no, we're more than happy to put it in the sausage.
damn right.
So, but that anyway, got one with got that one with the crossbow early season, and then the story is firearm season. It's an old sand pit, right? Well, they don't exactly like make those nice when they're done getting the material out of them.
No, they just kind of leave things lay wherever and vacate.
Yeah, so it's it's next to the river, so it floods in the spring, and it's great for the ducks. But there's these random ridges that run through it that are like 45 degrees up and down and 12 foot tall and whatever. And so it's the last morning of firearm season here, and I'm sitting in the blind that I killed that button buck out of, and I see 2 does coming across the field, from kind of paralleling the creek, and they come into that sand pit. So I'm getting ready, and I'm sitting in my blind, and they come up out of the bottom, and they're standing on one of these ridges, and it's from there may be a few feet above me, but it's as I'm looking out of the ground blind, I'm facing the main windows. But then the angle that they're at is I have to like lean back and point the gun out of one of the side windows.
Okay.
So here I am in my blind chair. Go ahead.
I just saying okay, agreeing. Sorry, I'll shut up.
Oh yeah. So here I am, like leaning back, like you guys talk about, trying to wing around a tree in your saddles on your offhand side.
Mm-hmm.
Leaning back, pointing the Mossberg 500 out the side window, trying to squeeze this one off, and I shoot, and nothing happens. Deer standing there. 2 deer that I saw coming in were standing there, didn't move. Okay, shoot again. Nothing really happens. I see 2 deer bolting out of the sand pit across the field. I think I missed, right? And so I like just get out of the blind, like do my duty, go over there and look and see what's going on. And what do I find? Blood. Oh, All right. Well,
What a happy
great.
surprise.
Okay.
Take it.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. Good for me. Take it. Right. So I take like 10 more steps. And as I'm walking along this ridge where these deer were, it's 45 degrees up and down both sides. It's like a 2-foot top. Take 10 more steps. I look down the side. Here's a doe laying 6 feet below my feet, upside down, wedged up against a bush that's, of course, growing vertical out of this sand pit wall,
Oh, jeez.
looking at me, going, dude, what are you doing? And I look at her, and there's blood, and I'm like, what the hell? Well, I hit her in the pelvis or in the back leg, and basically knocked her off of the ledge, flipped her upside down, and she got wedged next to this bush and couldn't get up and run away. So anyway, I dispatched her, said, thank you, dear. You're a good girl. We appreciate you. And
Yeah.
but anyway, very okayest moment in my hunting career.
You kind of caught a deer
Yeah, you did. You caught
in
a
the
deer.
man-made
Yeah.
trap.
Catch any this weekend? There you got your answer for all
Jeez.
the.
That's that would be a hell of a scene to walk up on.
Well, good thing you went and checked for blood. That's the thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you think you miss, rule of thumb,
Always
Always check.
go
Always,
look.
always, yeah.
So good job on that.
Yeah.
Congrats. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, anyway, it was a great. I had a great season coming back into deer hunting after a long time, and
Well, welcome back, man.
thought
Welcome
I'd share.
welcome
Awesome.
back to deer
Yeah.
camp.
Appreciate it. No, enjoy your guys' content. Just kind of found you a few months ago. Ordered a hat. But yeah,
Hopefully you got
Awesome.
it
thank you.
in time. It's busy around here, so yeah. Thanks for the order and thanks for following along and thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good
Congrats,
talking to you,
man.
buddy.
You bet. Thank you. Bye.
All right, we'll do one more and then we'll call it a night, fellas. Who do we got? Oh, it's our buddy Rick the Pheasant.
Rick the Peasant.
Oh, did I say pheasant? Do I do that every time? I just think I like that better, Rick. How do I do it? Where is he? Oh, here he is. Hey, sorry, Rick, you're live now.
Hi,
I don't know.
Hey, Rick.
What's wrong
I've
button
got
before.
two. Hi. I've got 2 late season close calls last year I can tell you about archery season.
All right, let's hear them.
And I'll tell you the first one, and then you could tell me whether you want to hear the second one. But the first one was the coldest day of the year last year. It might have even been the coldest day for all winter. I don't know. And it was snowing all the night before and windy, 30-mile-an-hour winds. And I had bought one of these Sitka jackets on eBay in a stink bed. And it's supposed to be this warm jacket. I thought, I'm going to test this jacket out. I went to the public land where I know there's alfalfa field rather close by, and there's been tracks coming out of the swamp going to that field. So I went to the backside of it and I snuck in so that the wind was kind of crossing. And I thought, well, I just started doing this mobile tree stand thing. I had it on my back. I thought, well, I'm going to go in kind of late so I don't have to sit in the cold too long. I gave myself maybe 45 minutes to find a tree and set up, and then an hour to hunt. And I go walking in, and I found 2 really good trails, very close together, like within 10 yards of each other. And they kind of all seemed like a whole lot of other trails came in too to this one little area. And I picked out this maple tree that had grown a bunch of different stems, and it was cut, and it was coppiced, and there's like 10 trees growing out of the stump. And right in the middle, there's this one little one that's straight. So I thought, that looks pretty nice. And they had all this cover of these big trees around me. So I got into that tree, and it wasn't even 10 minutes later after I got set up, and I take a camera with me, and I had a camera arm. I do all that stuff too, and not even 10 minutes. And it's like something's moving right below my feet. And I look down, and there's a doe. And as I look down at her, she looks up at me. I could have jumped on her. She was that close to me. And I was only like 8 feet in the tree, And so she runs off. I grab the bowl just in case, she would stop and close enough. And just like that, the fawn pops in my view to my left. And here I'm kind of facing right now because I'm wanting to get a shot at that doe. Well, then the fawn sees me. It jumps a few times, and it actually did stop for like a couple seconds at 15 yards where I could have got an arrow through. But she bounded off before I could even kind of move that in that direction. And now I'm thinking, that's it. You know, I lost my chance. I'm going to get a view of these two deer, because it was a nice look, because you could see these brown deer and all this white snow, you know, and the blizzard going on around you. So I wanted to get that shot. And I'm trying to get this camera pointed in that direction. I finally do. And then there's another deer. Now, it was in my line of shooting to my right, and it was less than 10 yards from me, and it's busy looking at probably its mother. You know, it was probably a yearling from last year for this old doe, looking over there instead of looking at me. And now I got this camera in my hand, and I can't, you know, I'm trying to put the camera down and do all this. Well, then it sees me moving, it runs off. So that's the close call.
That sounds like last week's episode of Missed Opportunities.
That's the way it goes, right?
It is.
That's
Every time
always
you
the way
mess
it goes.
around, every time you're messing around with that stupid camera, and that's my reserve for messing around, because I've gotten
I almost
busted
didn't
moving.
get this guy for that reason. I was like,
I was messing around moving. I missed a doe this year. I was trying to get it on camera and making sure everything's turned on. And oh, quick! I better hurry up and take the shot before she's gone. And then you know, I tried threading the needle and it didn't work. So cameras can really be very frustrating and cost you stuff. It's
also really rewarding if
deal.
you get it.
If you get it on,
yeah, it's a give and take.
It's great.
Yeah, so good for you, Rick, for doing the mobile hunting, bringing the camera arm. We've done it. It's a lot of work.
It
It's
is
a lot of
work.
extra.
Yeah,
It is a lot of
It's also
extra.
hard to bring a whole camera guy with you. Then you got to worry about us at that.
That's a whole other thing.
Having another human being that, you know, they make noise, they're not even they're oblivious to it, because maybe they don't whitetail hunt like you do, you know. Scent, you know,
Yeah,
comes
all
in,
of it, all of it. You
someone
gotta
comes in,
think
you
about
can smell
another
their
person.
deodorant.
Yep,
you know.
you just got to play the win with that person too.
Yeah,
and
you
gotta
do your best.
You got to hunt for two people. Then
Mm-hmm.
it's like when your wife's got to eat for two people. It's not the same thing at all. It didn't make any damn sense.
No, not at all.
Shut the hell up, Eric.
Even though it was still an exciting hunt to have a deer that close.
Oh, it's always
Absolutely.
great.
Anytime you got
Three
one
of
that
them.
close,
Three of
it's
them.
Three of
My
even better.
my first ever deer hunt was in the Nicolay National Forest, the Shawinigan, Wisconsin.
Schwamigan?
Whatever. Schwamigan. Anyway,
Shit.
go with my dad and his buddies from high school, or stand at a timeshare up there, Nicolay Shores. Beautiful property, like, or I don't know, it's like a hotel. It's a pool and a hot tub, and it's all really nice. At least back then it was. I thought it was. And we get out in the woods, and I see and hear nothing. Zero. And then we move spots, and I get to the spot, and I set up off the road like typical OKS hunter kid. And I got a shotgun, and it's way too big for me. I don't know, whatever. So I get in this tree, I get all set up, and I'm sure enough, a doe comes by, and she crossed the road right under my tree. And I'm like, this is the first deer I've ever seen in the wild in my life with a gun in my hand ever.
Oh,
And so what do? She's so close that I don't even know where to point the frickin' gun. I'm like, what do I do? Shoot her in the back? Like, what do you do with this? I didn't know what to do at all. So the next best thing is I get on the walkie-talkie. Dad, there's a doe right under me. And this one, my heart's out of my chest. So I'm like, probably talking a million miles a minute.
Yeah.
Dad, there's a deer. I'm freaking out. And he's like, gets back on the walkie-talkie. Slow down. I can't hear you. I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. What's happening? There's a deer. He's like, walkie-talkie down and shoot it. And by that time, she pranced off. But he came over to my tree. He's like, looks at the tracks. He's, oh yeah, she was right under your tree. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty exciting. And that was it. I could have shot it, and I didn't even understand what to do. I was so freaked out and jacked up about it all. It's like the scene from Talladega Nights. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crawl over you like I'm Spider Monkey.
Yeah.
To Rick's point there, hunting the cold day, you said there was one of the coldest days of the winter. I think it was not last season, the season before. I was just trying to kill a doe with my bow.
Yeah.
Like, I had gone all season, not killed anything, and I was like, I just need some meat for the freezer. and I was doing some late season hunting. We had some cold weather roll in, and
And
it
snow.
seemed like no matter, yeah, there was lots of
Lot
snow,
of
and it
snow.
was cold. And it seemed like no matter what time I went in or how early I thought, every time I got to the area, there was deer standing close by. And like a couple times I got in there without them seeing me. I got to like set up, but they were already up. You know, on those cold days, they're like milling around, and I'm trying to hunt close to the bedding. So they're already up feeding.
Right.
And it's just like, you don't have a lot of time on the cold days. The good days, you better get in there early, unless you're at like a destination farther away from where they're bedding, but they're moving early.
Yeah.
Someone, Hunter Hayden, just said, "Hey, I've stayed at Nicolay Shores. It's a great spot. I really loved it."
What town is that in?
I think it's Phelps.
Phelps?
I think. Yeah,
Nice.
I could be wrong. Crivets. Maybe it's Crivets. I get
It's
confused
not
about those
Crivets.
two. It might be.
Hey, Hunter.
Why
That's
not-
there's a Peshigo native right there. Shout out Hunter Madden.
Nice.
Nicolay Shores, Wisconsin. Let me see where that is. I'm just going to take a quick look. Nicolay Shores Resort is in Phelps, Wisconsin.
There you go.
Not Crivets.
Further north.
Looks like a pretty neat place still. But probably I think I don't know if it was Phelps or Crivets my dad and I went to. We stayed at a motel once, which was very different than the Nicolay National Shores or whatever it's called, Nicolay Shores. And you open the door, and on the inside of the door there's a sign that says you can now turn your clocks back 20 years. Welcome to Phelps or Crivets, whatever it was. And like nothing had changed in that hotel room or that motel room. It was pretty great. There's something about that kind of stuff, man, when you get up into that
Yep,
type
little
of part of the
nostalgia.
world. Yeah. Well, Rick, maybe we'll save your story for the new year, your next one.
Okay.
You,
I've
Does
got
that
a
make you
couple
feel
of them,
sad? Are you
yeah.
good?
Yep.
You're like, okay.
Or you'll make a few new ones between now and then.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, and we enjoy you calling in.
Oh, maybe. Yep.
We
I'm
enjoy
gonna
you.
try.
Good. Call in again, please.
Oh, thank you.
Well, cheers
Yes.
and Merry Christmas and
right.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, to all you people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one, Rick.
Have a good one, Rick.
What a nice man.
He's awesome.
I like hearing from him. It was cool to hear a new caller call in too from Minnesota.
Heck yeah.
Nonetheless, had a few. I've been sending you guys a couple of notes. I don't send you guys enough of those. We're getting more of them coming through the.
That's great.
We got
That's
actually.
great.
I want to take us. I know we all got to go and you guys got to drive. And I feel bad doing this kind of shit. But
My kids are already going to be in bed when I get home. So
I'm gonna watch this, guys. You guys are gonna enjoy this. I'd say talk amongst yourself, but then I'll just interrupt you in 4 minutes. So just hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's in here somewhere. I'll find it. Come on. I have an email. This is why I hate emails. From someone that
You got to remember who it is, and then you can hit the search.
So
but-
from last week, I don't know because I don't know half the people. His name is Kurt, so I'll read his email. Good afternoon, men. Been listening to the show for a while now, and would like to say that I'm really appreciate and agree with the message and miss it. Oh my God, message and mission that you guys share and
you
believe.
better wash that down with some more Bush Light.
That's what I got to do.
There you go.
Here we go. Okay. I've been replaying an opening morning gun season encounter over in my head and would like to share. Well, I had the most exhilarating opening day of my life. It was also the most confusing. It replays like this: 8 a.m., doe, and a fawn. Sounds like Rick's story. 8:15, doe. 8:45, deer. Who knows what kind it was? I only saw the tail walk away at the end of my lane. Trail picture later. It was a spike. 10 a.m., a big body deer with a rack walks out in my lane. I shoot. Deer disappeared. Right where he was, it was a little low spot. So I figured I dropped him into the low spot behind the brush. 10:02, a buck runs away from just left of where I shot this deer and quarters away. 10:05, enter confusion. I take what's happening in my head, so I get out of my blind. No deer, no blood, no hair. Enter more confusion. 10:10. I take a phone call from my uncle asking if I need help tracking. We agree. It would be good if he came over at 11. I would like to point out that we legally group hunt following all regulations. Good call out. Great.
Excellent.
5 minutes later, back in my stand. 10:20. Bang! I shoot a different buck. We got this one. 11 o'clock. Uncle comes to help look for the first deer, to no avail. How is it I can shoot a deer at 90 yards? Exactly where I was aiming, but miss one at 40 yards? Am I broken? Does this qualify as an OKS Hunter moment? Anyway, keep up the good work. Kurt.
Awesome.
Great
Not
story.
broken
Not
at all.
broken.
No,
Completely
that's-
standard.
That's what we call shit happens.
Yep. So thanks for the story.
Love
We'll
it.
happy
love
to
it.
take we have on our website okayesthunter.com. There is a spot that says moments. A spot? What is wrong with me right now? There is a part, a section, a page on our website called moments that you can submit your Okayest Hunter stories and moments.
We need to read these weekly.
We have them. Or you can email us like Kurt did through our forum post on our website. Or you can email
I
us
think
at
that'd be a great little
sales@okayesthunter.com,
little
whatever.
segue to the end of our show is to read a moment. I think it'd be
Oh,
awesome.
that's a good idea, Greg. My idea was to make a book out of all these for deer camp every
That
year.
doesn't sound half bad either. A coffee table book.
But I
Or
don't
make
know
a
how to do
coffee
that.
table book about coffee tables.
Is that from something? It's got-
Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
it would be. That sounds very accurate. I
Yep.
like that show.
100%.
Should rewatch that one. That and Friends. So we'll leave you guys with Kurt's story, and thanks for the calls that came in. Brian and Rick, appreciate you guys. And oh darn it, what's the other fella's name that called in? That was
John.
new?
John.
John, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I could have figured it out, but
John
you
from
guys have a better
Minnesota.
memory.
John drinking Johnny Walker.
Land,
Mhm.
what's it called? Land of the Lakes, right?
Land of 10,000 lakes.
Land of the Lakes is northern Wisconsin. Up
Yeah,
by Eagle River.
Land O' Lakes is north of Eagle
Now
River.
I'm just thinking of that song by Chris. No, who sings that one? Wagon Wheel. Oh, the land of the pines.
That's Darius Rucker.
That John Denver's full of shit.
Let's end it with some tunes. What do we? I don't know which one is this. Is this a song? I don't like that one. What the? This is funner. That's not a word. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.